Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Cedar Creek Homestead. I hope y'all are having a wonderful morning so far. The sun is shining, the birds are singing. I've been watching them out there, and I haven't had my first cup of coffee this morning. I should have already had a couple of cups, but I made my coffee, and while I was pouring the water into the pot, my Berkey filter, water filter sits there beside it, and my mind wandered over to it, and I thought, it's probably time to clean that. And I got sidetracked, and so I came in, brought my Berkey filter system to the kitchen, took it all apart, and was getting it washed and clean, and heard my coffee pot beep and let me know that my coffee was ready for me. So I excitedly got my filter, the system cleaned up, got my Berkey filters soaking because I don't have the little attachment. It's been misplaced, and so I do the soak method on those filters, and so I got that all going. It's in the sink soaking inside the Berkey canister, and I went back to get me a cup of coffee, and lo and behold, I had hot water. I did not put any coffee in the pot. So I thought, well, okay, we're going to have a wonderful day today, and I am determined to make it as the best I can. The coffee in, and it's beeped to let me know that it is ready. So I've got a little project to get started here that we'll be working on throughout the day, and I wanted to get you in on the beginning of it, and then I'll go have a cup of coffee. Now, I've been cleaning and straightening my pantry and taking note of everything that I have, as you should. And I ran into 3 jars of honey, different kinds of honey that are in different stages of crystallization. See, you can kind of see the division here on the top, and it's getting really thicker on the bottom and all of this. And I've got 3 different jars that are that way in different stages. This one has a honeycomb in it. And then this one, when you try to get the honey out, it's just flaky and crystally. A lot of people know that you can add gentle heat to this, and this honey will re-liquefy, and it's good. This is not ruined honey. Some people might think that, well, I've got to throw that away. My son would be one of them. Throw that away because it's not any good anymore. But it really just needs to have gentle warmth to bring it back to a liquid stage. Now this honey, I'm going to bring it back to a liquid stage, and when we're done with it, I'm going to take it a step further and make some creamed honey. I'd like to add a few more jars of creamed honey to my pantry, and I'd like to have some on hand if if I had a visitor or someone come over. That would be something that I could send home with them and gift them and bless them for being here at the farm. And so we're going to get this project started. It's really easy. I'm going to do mine in a crock pot. I'm going to set my crock pot on warm. You don't want to put this in a pot of boiling water. You don't want to put it in the microwave and melt it. You don't want to do anything like that, because you're really going to destroy the properties if you apply heat that way. We are going to put the crock pot on warm. I'm going to put some water in the crock pot, and I'm going to put these jars of honey. I'm going to take the lids off, but I'm going to put the jars of honey in there and just let them set and liquefy. Now, the honey is good. Like I said, we don't want to get any water in the honey. That's an important thing, that we don't get any water in there. And so I am going to put my jars in here, and I'm just going to let them warm up low and slow on warm, and I'm not going to put the lid on the crock pot. I don't want any condensation, anything that would drip into the honey jars. That's about 4 cups of water there in this crock pot. And I am going to just take the lids off of these. Well, that's easier said than done. Now you can see that while it is a little bit liquid, it's really, really thickening up and not as easy to use. So I'm just going to put it in the crock pot just like that. Now continue with these others. Same with this one. This one you can see the liquid part is here on the bottom. I hope you can see that on the bottom. And you can see all that's crystallized up here on this part of the jar. And I'm just going to put it right down in there. Same with this one. You can see there on the bottom. Whoops, no you can't. You can see on the bottom where this is crystallized. It's got some liquid, but it also has crystallization. So I'm going to stick that down in there as well. And I'm just going to let them set and soften up and reliquify. Now we're going to be making a creamed honey, and I will probably use more honey than what these three are, but we don't want to waste anything. We want to use as much of our product as we can, and so we will probably add honey to this and come out with a product, a creamed honey product that we can share with others. Step in the process, you can see that all of the honey has liquefied. We're using the warm water in the crock pot, and I've got it poured into here. I've got a little hand mixer. You can use your stand mixer too, but I'm just going to use my hand mixer today. And now the other thing, let me see, I need to get a little spatula. You're going to need some seed honey. Now this is honey, just like this raw honey, but it has went through a process. Now I made this, and it's been about 5 years ago, and the only way that I can remember that is that Howie was still with us when I made this, and I made a big batch of it. I made a really big, I used 12 pounds of honey, I believe, and I had to purchase my seed honey, and then from then on I've always have a way of making it, because now this that I made with the original seed honey, which is honey that has had the sugar crystals modified, so that this, when this is added to this and it becomes one big batch of creamed honey, it will not crystallize again. It won't set up. It will stay in a liquid form. Now, you could go to big box stores like Walmart or others, and you still may be able to in your area. I've not been able to locate it in mine. I think one of the name brands was Subi, and I don't know if there were others. I'm sure there is on the internet, and you could get the sometimes it'll say creamed honey, sometimes it'll say spun honey, and that's what you're going to use for your seed. Now there are other processes that people use, beekeepers and others have experience with, that I can't speak about because I don't have any experience with it. This is the only way that I've ever done it, and it works really well. And so that's what I feel comfortable with showing you guys. And I have another video out there that I went through the whole process, but I had this to do today, and I thought I'd just go ahead and put out a new video of this. Now, you want to use raw honey, and that's what this is. Now, I used several different jars, all of it raw honey, but I'm going to tell you that probably from different types of flowers, just because of the different degrees of color of the honey. Just because this is dark doesn't mean that the honey is bad. Depending on what the bees ate, what type of honey you're getting, it'll depend. And sometimes on the time of year, in the springtime, you'll get a lighter honey, and it's just really amazing how the bees work. But anyway, you're going to need some seed honey. I ordered mine off of Amazon. You might check with your local beekeepers. They possibly will have it for you. And you might check around. You might be in a bigger area than I am and able to find it. But that's what you're going to need. It's about a 1 to 10 ratio. So you're going to use a whole lot more honey than you are your creamed honey or your seed honey. This is about 5 cups of honey. Normally when I make it, I do make bigger batches because I like to use it for gifts, and I like to have it to give to people that are visiting or whatever the case may be. And so I usually make a bigger batch of it. But I had this honey that I needed to re-liquefy, and I thought instead of just pouring it up in jars, because I have like 3 or 4 more jars of honey that are on my supply shelf, and I have this and 1 other jar of creamed honey, that I would just make some creamed honey today. So this is a little over a quart. It's almost just right at 5 cups of honey. This is a jelly jar. Put it on in this. What we're doing is we are going to mix this up. We're going to blend this up. Now, some people will go ahead and whip it all the way with their mixer until it turns totally white, and they use it from there. I'm seeding this, so what I'm going to do is allow this to get mixed together real pretty, and then I will let it set covered in a cool, dry place for about 4 or 5 weeks, and then I will have a big batch of creamed honey. Now, some people haven't ever experienced creamed honey before, and I will show you that this is what it looks like. Sometimes it's a lot whiter than this is, but you can tell honey, that you squirt out of a honey bear or out of a jar is a lot runnier than that. This, you see, and this makes a perfect Howie liked it with his buttered toast on Sunday mornings with some of this creamed honey on it, and it's not runny and messy, and it makes a delicious treat, and we like having it. You can use it for all the same applications as honey. It's just got a creamy consistency, and it's spreadable is the difference. And so I've got all of that in there. You know what? I think because I have another one on the shelf, I'm just going to go ahead, and that is only about 2 or 3 tablespoons more of this creamed honey, and I am just going to add it to it. It'll be all right. But your ratio that you're really trying is a 10 to 1, but it's not too fussy. You want to make sure it's raw honey though. Now, people want to know, do you have to put this in the refrigerator? No, it's still honey. Will it go bad? No, it's still honey. You're not adding anything to this that would change the shelf life of the honey at all. So we're going to put this in here. This would be something that you could gift. This is a perpetual thing, much like sourdoughs and different things, because once you've got seed honey, if you'll remember to always use one of your seed honeys to make a new batch, you won't ever have to buy it again. And you can use this for Mother's Day is coming up in May. You could make a nice little gift basket for the mamas in your life. You could save this and give it for a birthday present, maybe with a pretty teacup and some nice mixtures of teas, and you could do it for Christmas. It's just really something that's going to be economical. You can, you'll have time. It's not like it isn't like vanilla that takes a whole year to really get good and strong. It takes about 4 or 5 weeks. So you've got time to price honey and find you a good deal, local raw honey, or wherever you can find a good raw honey, and then your seed honey, and be able to make something really good and really fun for the family. And you can get your kids involved. You see how much work is done. It's just liquid honey, your seed, and mixing it up some. Now you can see that it's definitely changed in color. I just about made a mess, about dumped it out. Now the heat of the mixer, of the mixing, it really thins it. But as it sets and it does its work, it will thicken up. It's not going to be, you know, thick like solid, but it's going to be creamy and spreadable. But it won't be really liquid and runny like what its normal honey properties would be. And so that's all there is to it for this process. I will get these poured up in jars and then I'll show you the finished product. Okay, folks, so we ended up with 6 half pints of creamed honey. And while that doesn't seem like a whole lot, you saw the amount of honey that we used that people might not have bothered with. They might have just thrown it away, but we started out crystallized. We brought it up gently and brought it back to liquid, and we've put it in these jars. You saw the process of creaming it, and so now it will set with the seed in here for 4 to 5 weeks. Now, I'm not a scientist, not even a food scientist. I just know that what will happen is the crystals that are in the creamed honey are different than the ones that are in raw honey. And they will change, not change the honey because they're both honey. It's just that the sugar molecules in the creamed honey won't form those little tiny molecules that allow the raw honey to crystallize and to be grainy. The seed honey will take care of that, and you'll have a creamer, smoother texture that you can spread on your toast or biscuits or whatever you want to use it for. So 4 to 6 weeks, and like I said, it doesn't seem like a lot, but here is for my pantry. This will last quite a while. Or this is 6 gifts that I can give to somebody else, and I'm ahead on gift giving. This is just one more way of having things on your shelf that you can use to feed your family and look well to the ways of your household. Okay, guys, I'm gonna get these all washed up with hot water. They do not have to be processed. You don't have to put these in a hot water bath or anything. It's honey, it's good to go. It does not have to be refrigerated. You just put it on your shelf like you would with regular raw honey, and you're good to go. And so I'm gonna put this away for about 4 or 5 weeks, and when it gets done, we'll see what we come up with. I hope you guys give this a try. It's a fun kitchen experiment. It's fun to do with your kids. You saw how easy it was just to add the creamed honey to the regular honey and to use the mixer and mix it up. Now, I'll tell you, the part pouring it in the jars is not necessarily the funnest. It's a little bit sticky, but hey, your kids will probably have a lot of fun making it. I love you. I really do. Keep looking well to the ways of your household. And until next time, we're gone.